Hello, ni hao. This video is for creator or marketing nerds that want to see the WeChat Channels back end. That's where we get the analytics data for the short videos that are posted on WeChat in the channels area, which is just their short video TikTok kind of thing within WeChat. I'm going to pull it up here on my screen. And what this is channels.weixin.qq.com. To log in, I need to scan the code. I can do this because my account is already linked with the channels account. So I'm just going to go ahead and do that with my phone. And then it'll ask me to confirm, and I do confirm. So here we are on the home page. Let me just zoom in a little bit here for you. At the top, it has my name, my profile, number of videos I've posted, 155, and number of followers, which is currently 29,906. And then it gives me a brief overview of what has happened within the past 24 hours. The net increase in followers is 6. I like this number. The other platforms tell me how many new followers I got, but of course I'll lose followers over time too. So it's nice to have this net. And this shows how many plays there have been of my videos, how many hearts, and how many comments. Down below it shows some of the recent videos along with the metrics for each one. One thing you might notice is that there's a huge difference in the number of views that they get, because on WeChat Channels and on other short video platforms too, I found that I will get a base number of views that is kind of like the lowest number of views that I'll get on that platform. But from there, any video could explode to various degrees. It could go a lot bigger than what it is right here. But for example, these ones here have 2,000 something views. That's kind of like the base bottom number of views I might get on a post on WeChat Channels nowadays. And then this one here has 31,000 views. And this one here has 8,000 and then 19,000. If you don't know Chinese, the one is a character for 10,000. So on the left side menu here, we have a couple areas that I'm going to show you today. One of them is content management. I have added this little English dictionary pop-up thing here to make it a little bit easier for you to read. Let me know if that helps or not. I did try making the whole video with the English browser translation, but it just ended up being really confusing for me. So anyways, on the menu, we have content management, interactions, private messages, and then the other one I'll show you is the analytics. So in content management, when I click it, it shows me a few different options. Besides video, there's also music, audio, events, and homepage as well. Let's check the video section. Now it shows me a list of my videos here, and it also has a button for me to publish a video. If I click publish, it'll give me a page where I can upload the file, description, location, add it to lists that I want. That's like a YouTube playlist, a WeChat playlist in this case. I can add a link to different places within WeChat. For example, I could link to an official account article. I can link to a members area. This is a red envelope feature. And then there are stores too. But note that all of these links are within WeChat. I can't link out to somewhere else. I could set a specific time for it to be published, or I could just go ahead and publish right now, and I could add tags in here. Finally, there's a box for me to check if this is original content or not. In my case, I would always be checking these because my content is original. Let's go back. Okay. So in this video area, it will show me all the recent videos that I published along with some metrics about them, but we're going to be able to get better data in other places. So I don't use this area in order to check this. You still could though. I mean, you could come in here, you could go and to the right side and you could click comment management. So here we are in the comment management area. And this is something that I actually use quite a bit because the way that WeChat Channels is set up, I have my personal WeChat account and it is linked to the channels account. Now, if I just access WeChat from my personal account, I could see the comments on my videos, but I'd be responding to the comments from my personal account, which is not something that I want to do. So I'll come in here into the back end and respond to comments often. Actually, there's two things in this menu. There are comment management and there is then Danmu management. Danmu is bullet comments. So let's check the comments part first. Actually, let's grab one that has quite a few comments. Okay, so this one. This is a video where I was talking about a Chinese idiom, which is lang tun hu yan, and it means to wolf something down. This is the kind of stuff that I'm interested in. I just think it's interesting that in English we say we wolf something down, and in Chinese you say you wolf, gulp, tiger gulp, something like that. So they have both a tiger and a wolf in their idiom, whereas we just have a wolf. Anyways, I was talking about that, and I got lots of comments on here. I can come in here and I can check the comments. It will be organized in a way where generally the more popular comments are up top. Sometimes there can be just in like an overwhelming number of comments in here, and I wouldn't even be able to check them all. If I want to respond to a comment, let's see, let me respond to one. This person says a tiger's mouth is bigger. Okay, so I can like it if I want. Is a tiger's mouth really bigger? I don't know. So I could say, really? And then I add my comment, and that's it. So this is a convenient place to do that. Let's check out the bullet comments management. I don't know if there's much to manage in here. So here is a video where I was interviewing some friends in a bubble tea place. And you can see the type of comments that are going to fly across the screen as the video is played. So the reason that I might check these would be to delete it if it's something that I don't like. I never pay attention to these. I just let it go ahead. Several years ago, I would see extremely offensive comments streaming across videos that were made by foreigners in particular. And I haven't seen those lately. I don't see them on my videos. I think that the algorithms are set up in such a way that very offensive stuff is just filtered out. But if people get mad, they still will post whatever they want on my bullet comments or in my comments, etc. I just noticed that the words they use are not the most insulting words that they could possibly use. And there are more insulting words for white people in Chinese than there are even possible in English. I just don't get those on the videos. If I attract the glass heart crowd to my videos, bully sin. Okay, bully sin is somebody who's just way too touchy. If I attract those type of people to my videos and they want to insult me, they'll probably call me a dog or something like that. Something to do with dogs. Anyways, a bit of a rant. Let's move on. Next up is this Susin, what do you call it in English? DM, direct message. This is the direct message area where people can just go ahead and send me a message. I find that they don't use this feature as much on WeChat as some people on other platforms did, which is a bit surprising to me since WeChat is a messaging platform. I guess it's just not very popular for short videos. Usually I don't check all of these myself. Somebody on my team will grab them and give them another place to carry on the conversation with us, such as another WeChat account. I think that it only keeps the direct messages here for about a month. This is one of the reasons that if you're using something like this for sales, you don't want to have your whole conversation just directly in a channel like this on WeChat, on your WeChat channels or on your official account. You or your Chinese salesperson will want to get those contacts and get them in a conversation on a personal WeChat account. That's usually the way that people in China do it. So here's one of the most interesting parts of the backend, the analytics area. I think I will switch it into English, switch my browser language into English for this part, because it might be easier for you to understand. I want you to see all the words here, even if they are strange English. So the areas that I like to look at are the follower data and video data. In this follower section, I could choose to have the data for 30 days. In the growth area, it'll show me the growth in followers, and it's usually going to be really spiky like this. There will be little or no growth during certain times, but when videos take off, then there will be a spike of followers right there. So for example, this day I gained 151, and then this day 153. These spikes can go way, way higher too. The great thing about short videos is that they're just really explosive and viral. Here it'll show the record per day, total followers, net increase, etc. This part's probably more interesting. It gives me information on my users. So we can see here that I have about 54% male followers and 43% female. That's also about what I get on Xiaohongshu and Bilibili, but Douyin, on the other hand, is about 90% male for me, which is a little bit different. It shows the equipment they're using to view my videos. A lot of the time, it's going to be just a split between Android and iOS. Then there's also this unknown section. I don't know what that is. Maybe it is Androids they can't identify. Maybe it's people viewing it on PC. I don't know. On WeChat, my followers skew towards an older age. And I think that makes sense because WeChat is the social platform in China where basically all of your Chinese family members are on it, including the older ones. A lot of the platforms aren't like that. They skew more towards the younger audience. By the way, I can see this even in my comments on WeChat, because when I read the comments on videos on WeChat, I can understand all of them. I'm 40 years old. I studied Chinese for a long time. My Chinese level is quite good. So if people speak normal Chinese, I can understand it. But on the platforms with the younger users like Douyin, they're always coming up with these new phrases, new ways of saying things. And I'm constantly learning new things just reading their comments. WeChat is not like that. Anyways, I have 36% of followers between 40 to 49, 35% are above 50. That's a valuable segment for a lot of clients of ours too, because people that are older have more money. And we do a lot of marketing for services businesses or B2B businesses, and our customers want to reach older people. WeChat is a place that can be done. It's visible even in my data here, where I'm not even trying to specifically target older people. Here's the last part I'm going to show you today. It is the video data, analytics for my videos. This is showing me all videos, and then there's also a single video section. Within all videos, let's see, one part that's useful is this area here, which is going to show me how people are finding these videos. In my case, the vast majority of it is the recommended. And this makes sense. It's like this on a lot of short video platforms where people are going to see they're mainly going to interact with the algorithm that is just showing them more suggested content, right? But there are some other things in here too. This is a subscription notification. People that subscribe to me will get a notification if they want to check more content of mine. Other, I don't know what that means. This is friends liking, hearting the content, shares, such as to WeChat Moments, and the main page, the homepage, and the homepage. And then finally, this very small one you can barely see is WeChat on PC. Not a whole lot of people are using WeChat on their PC. And then the Can section, which is another way of discovering content. Let's check the data for a single video. And let's make it a longer time so we can try to find something that is, and I'll click this play to choose twice to filter by the most played one. All right, it's one of these ones where I ask Canadians questions. Questions about China, questions about Canadian culture, etc. I can click this button here, Chakhan, to show me data specific for this video. This is the audience retention trend, and I really wish that it was more granular. On other platforms like YouTube, TikTok, Douyin, you get data that is down to just a few seconds. I think it's second by second on TikTok now, and on Douyin, it's like once every 3 seconds. And when the data is that granular, you can know exactly what you said that caused people to drop off. WeChat doesn't really have that, so it's a bit harder to analyze this. Still, it is useful though. On short videos on any platform, you're going to get a very quick drop off at the beginning because people are just swiping, right? And then as they swipe through the content, if they don't like the video within the first second or so, they just swipe away. You know, they're like swiping by default almost and just looking for something that catches their eye. Let's go over all of the data. This is the rate that people finish the video. The percentage of people that finish the whole video, 26%, which is actually pretty high, I would say. And on average, they watched 46 seconds of the video. There was 60,000 views for this video. Here is the interaction metrics. There's 137 hearts, 206 thumbs up. So the heart is a public like, the thumbs up is a private like, basically. 138 comments, 107 people followed directly from watching this video, and 167 people shared the content. There's no people that use this content to do special things like put at the top, put as the banner of their moments area. Sometimes people do stuff like that. Oh, this area here is going to show me the trends in the data, but it's going to show very low numbers right now because remember this one was posted in January. Let's change the dates here. All right, so here, spreading it out over a 2-month period, you can kind of get a sense of the life cycle of a short. And it's just like, boom, it goes up for a couple days and then it comes back down. That's pretty much it. Let's zoom in a bit to see more of that data. You can see it went up within 1 day, and then after that, it started to come down. That's pretty much what I expect to see in a lot of short videos, but sometimes it's not like that. Some short videos will keep getting more traffic later on, especially if they are optimized for search traffic as well. For example, if it is something that is a helpful tip, it might get more traffic later on as people search for that. Let's check that out by checking one of my videos to see if that really is the case. Let's take a look at another video. This one here is an insight I had about the Chinese word Zanmen, which is an inclusive us. Us as in you and I. Within the last 30 days, you can still see traffic for it, even though this was posted a long time ago. It's getting, say, 29 views one day, down to 3 views on a minimum day. It even had another day where it had 193 views. And this is a bunch of months later on. So this video is getting data partly from my homepage because it's pinned to my homepage on WeChat. But another way is also going to be search traffic. Okay, so this video went a bit longer than I expected. I hope it's useful for you just to understand the basics of the analytics data and the backend options that you have for WeChat channels. If you have some comments, please go ahead, leave a comment, and hopefully I can answer it. See you later.